got to turn on my pod. Okay, pod takes about 8 minutes to turn on.
Roger.
I almost never fly around in cruise mode, just because I find the HUD to be not very worthwhile for use in navigating and things like that anyway.
Fair.
So I almost always just cruise in air-to-air mode. Okay, I'm gonna unstow my pod now. So, hey guys, Spudknocker here, as always, and today we have a bit of a different sort of video. This one is another mentoring video in the F-14B Tomcat, but instead of BFM and dogfighting, this one is all about strike missions and using the lantern pod and laser-guided bombs against differing types of targets, such as stationary and moving targets. We also threw in a little bit of buddy lasing, but we seem to run into some sort of desync issues of our multiplayer, which is sometimes to be expected. This patron really wanted to learn how to use the lantern pod effectively using the pilot control mod, so he could fly well and effectively in the F-14 strike flights in my large co-op missions that I host regularly. If you liked the video, and you think you could get something out of it, or you just want to support my channel, one-on-one training missions are available to all my patrons $15 and above. Thanks a lot guys, and happy hunting.
Yep.
So, inside the two, sort of sideways L's, there's a dot, right?
Okay.
So, if we use our S4 hat to slave our lantern to the HUD, the lantern pod field of view will be centered on that dot in the middle of the datum plane. And so what you can do is, if you're within 12 nautical miles of a point on the ground, whether, you know, it's a tank or something like that, you can use that datum point to slave the, point the lantern pod at a certain point and then throw it into area track really quickly, and there you go. You've got the point you want centered up on the HUD, or centered up in the pod.
Is that in air-to-ground mode?
Yeah, that's going to be in air-to-ground mode. Mine's still unstowing.
Mine's taking forever.
Yeah, it is taking a while.
Uh-oh.
If you've got not ready on there, your pod is functional. You just gotta give it a second.
Okay. Come on, dude. There we go.
I'm just gonna go ahead and enter a lazy orbit here.
Okay.
Roger. Yes, sir.
Oh, thanks, jail bars.
What happened?
I can't see. Oh.
Oh, are you multi-monitor?
No, the canopy rails are blocking you.
Oh yeah, it'll do that.
Yep.
Although you're giving me great screenshots right now.
Cool.
Alright, let's see what's going on with this pod.
I wonder. Hit the unstow button again.
Yep, I'm trying that. I'm gonna pull my wings back a little bit to be a little bit more fuel efficient. So it's, oh, there we go, perfect. So it's 100% acceptable in the Tomcat to, even if your wings in automatic mode want to be fully out at 20 degrees, you know, fully straight, it's okay to manually sweep them back, because when you manually sweep them back, you're reducing drag, especially inherent drag, because you're reducing the lift of the wings, and that can make you a bit more fuel efficient during cruise. Now, you don't want to sweep them back too much, but sweeping them back just enough is always really helps.
What do you have yours back at?
Mine are at 55 degrees, so I'm just in bomb mode right now.
Gotcha.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go into air to ground mode, and so I've got my targeting pod here in air to ground mode, and then if I hit stand by. If I hit S4 hat up, I can go ahead and slave it to my HUD. I'm gonna go.
Was at HUD by default?
Yeah, it's at HUD by default, but if you're in something else, you can always change it.
Okay.
So we've got a. If you look back over our shoulder here at roughly about a 45-degree angle off of our left wing, probably our like 7 o'clock, we can see a little inlet right there.
Yep.
Right on that inlet area, there's an area of tanks. And some man pads and some AAA pieces and things. They're just kind of sitting in that field. They're stationary. And we can go and, if you can slew, you know, get close enough that you can see the labels, we can slew the HUD right over the top of that. When you're within 12 nautical miles, you can fur into area track mode. And then once you're in area track mode, if you give it a quick squirt with the laser, that will designate that point as your target, and then hit S4 hat to the right to slave the pod to the designated point. You'll be able to keep that point saved, and you can pull as many Gs as you need to or as you want, and not ruin this tracking solution on that point on the ground.
Cool.
Yeah, if you want to like watch my F2 view or something like that, go for it. Just make sure you got your autopilot on so you don't crash.
Throwing it on right now.
Try and keep to a hard deck of about 15,000 or so, or at least 10,000, just so that we don't get in range of those man pads.
I'm at 17 right now.
Roger.
I'll stay there. There you are.
Alright, got my wings swept. Perfect. We've also got a moving target convoy down there if you want to practice on a moving target once we try this out.
I think that's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, they're on a road. They look like a long red snake.
Yep.
Oh, there's dirt at 9 o'clock.
What airspeed do you usually sit at when you're dropping bombs?
I usually try to be between 350 and 450.
Okay.
keep in mind that maneuver speed in the F-14 is between 350 and 450. So if you have a SAM shot at you or an interceptor jumps you or something like that, you want to be able to maneuver out of the way of that threat.
Yep.
So basically what I just did, make sure that you have your laser armed. I forgot that step and that delayed me a little bit here.
Yep.
And that's why I got a little too low. Make sure that you have your laser armed. All I did was I put it in, kept it in HUD mode, put it over that target area, then threw it into area track mode and then gave it a quick squirt with the laser and then threw it into a designated mode, and now I've got a perfect bead on that target.
In dirt, 7 o'clock.
And we're working on the same laser codes, so we'll have to drop bombs one at a time, or we can also buddy lays too, so that could be pretty cool.
I'd like to try that.
Okay, no problem.
Yep.
I'm getting dirt at 8 o'clock.
Alright. Where am I at? Oh, Jesus. At least keep my nose pointed on the coast. I'm halfway to China by now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, did you get the target locked up?
I'm rolling in now.
Okay. Okay, I've got a visual on you.
Is IP where the target area is?
The IP point is halfway between the convoy, where the convoy started, and where this, like, field of armor is.
Okay.
So this technique is really useful if, like, you're trying to give cast to good guys on the ground and they pop smoke or something like that, and you need to find them super quickly. Really good way to just slew the pod right to their position. It's also great if you need to, say, somebody else dropped a bomb and you need to reattack their target. You just good way to just see their explosion or the fire they created and put your pod right on top of that.
Too low. I'm trying to find these targets.
You should be able to see them with labels pretty soon here.
I may be looking in the wrong spot.
You can take a look at the F-10 map.
Okay. That's a good idea. Okay, that should be coming up pretty soon. Where the hell are you? This is my biggest problem in DCS. I cannot find anything to save my life.
Situational awareness.
Yes.
Basically.
There they are. I found them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're right over the top of them. So I would extend out over the water there and then make a gentle 180 to come back around rather than trying to yank onto them. One of the biggest things that can really help DCS World players, especially trying to get to the point where flying in my missions is easy and fun, is being patient. Is learn to be patient.
Dirt at 1 o'clock and dirt 12
So
o'clock.
guys love to, you know, throw the airplanes around and fly fast and, you know, roll in on targets, you know, from close range and things like that. And that's cool and fun, and that's the easy part of DCS World, but the hard part is being patient, flying realistically, and the more realistic you fly, the better chance you'll have of surviving a mission.
Per your air-to-ground fundamentals video.
Exactly. So everything in that video applies to the F-14. Looks like you're down pretty low.
Okay.
If you bring up the altitude a bit, you can give yourself a bit of a better angle, and you can see targets with sensors, whether it's an IR MAV on the F-18 or LANTIRN Pod on the Tomcat, a little bit easier. Because if you're down low, you'll have a much less of a deflection angle to be able to see the targets.
Duly noted. I'll start bringing her back around.
And to throw another thing at you here, also remember when you're orbiting around target areas and things like that, your LANTIRN Pod is on your right-hand glove station, which means that the LANTIRN Pod sensor is gonna get blocked a lot quicker if you're orbiting to the left.
Yep. So it'd be best to orbit to the right.
Yeah, exactly. Which, like, if we do a buddy lays up here pretty soon, I'm definitely going to be orbiting to the right-hand side so that I have my laser and sensors trained on the target the entire time.
Okay.
That's okay. You're at 16,000. It's not too bad. I'll keep it.
Yeah.
I've got dirt at 5 o'clock. And, oh, dirt, 4 o'clock.
Don't tell me I lost him again. Yep, I think I lost him again. Son of a bitch.
Okay, so let me pause it here, and just so that we can
Alright.
talk about it without you having to worry about flying around. So take a look outside of your airplane. You know, go into the F2 view and swing things around with your mouse if you need to.
Yeah.
So this is kind of going back to like basic pilotage skills that like when I learned how to fly real airplanes. Was a big thing is like look at the target area. Where is that target area in relation to geographic things? It's kind of near this little peninsula kind of thing with two little towns in it inside this little swampy inlet area. It looks like it's maybe, I don't know, between 2 and 5 miles away from that second little town that's not right against the seashore. Things like that you can notice that will really help you when it comes to finding targets and keeping situational awareness as to where those targets are. Is think about where they are in relation to points on the ground, things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Rather than just simply relying on just the labels, because the labels are great for pinpointing things, but they won't help you find necessarily where a target would be, right?
I'd say that red really kind of blends in.
Yeah, and it makes it less of a cheat, kind of.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these two towns here, and there's that second one. What I think is what you're talking about. It's off my 2-3 o'clock-ish.
Yes, sir. So those are the two towns.
Yeah.
And you can
Alright.
just I'm looking at your F2 view right now, and you can just make out those tanks down there. You can actually see the actual tanks, not just the labels.
Yeah, I think I see a red speck.
Yep.
All right.
So there's a bunch of red specks down there, and that would be
Yep.
that would be where you're looking. So I guess maybe you could say kind of maybe triangulate a little bit from that little like split end of that inlet there, and that little town that's kind of an oblong shape. That's kind of like right there. So keep that in mind, so that way you can come around again, put your HUD in that general vicinity, and then look at, zoom your targeting pod in, look at the pod. Am I seeing anything in that general vicinity? If not, no, I'll just move it around a little bit and try and get it over one of those targets. And then when I do see a tank, just throw it into area track mode and you're good to go.
Cool. All right, let's do that.
Cool.
All right, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do this again.
Yep. So you'll probably be coming in from a different heading, but just remember that where, you know, from a geographic standpoint, where those tanks are in relation to that town and that little inlet.
Yep. Yeah. I think situational awareness is my biggest weakness in this game.
Yeah, it takes a lot of getting used to. One thing that can really help is just, do you read books about fighter pilots and attack pilots or anything?
Was it Robert Shaw's book about BFM and ACM is the only book I have so far.
Okay, so I would actually try and find some. I've got a whole bunch of book recommendations for you, and most of them are not necessarily manuals like the book that you just described kind of sounds like. They're more like they're actually historical fiction. So that'd be like Flight of the Intruder, The Intruders, Ghost Rider 1. These are books that, even though they're historical fiction and they're usually about the Vietnam War, they're about what a pilot thinks, how he feels, and what he's looking for when he's flying in combat. And I think that might really help you figure out how to approach tactical situations and how to come up with an SA picture and then keep that SA picture by understanding how a fighter pilot or an attack pilot might approach a situation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because Stephen Kuntz, he's an awesome author, and he was an A6 pilot in Vietnam, and he writes some fantastic historical fiction books that really show you how a pilot thinks in combat.
Okay. Didn't they make that in a movie too?
Yeah, the movie's terrible. Don't watch the movie.
Fair enough.
It's okay. I'm being a little harsh.
Was it a good B movie?
It's a good beat movie.
Fair enough.
Alright, I'm going to drop a bomb here, and maybe that'll help you out. Give you some smoke to queue off of.
Alright.
It's going to be a big-ass bomb. This little tank is going to be scrap metal.
Oh boy. Alright. Where is... Alright, there are the two towns.
I got some dirt at 9 o'clock.
Okay, lined up for my bomb run.
Alright. I'm about to roll out.
Fantastic.
Rolling out.
Coming in through the crosswind, so I'm going to do a little bit of wind correction here. Pickle. Blazing.
Oh, shit. Oh, got it.
Fantastic. So you're going to see an explosion from my bomb here
Let me zoom out real quick.
in 15 seconds. Oh yeah, he's definitely tracking. Two, one, shack.
Boom.
If that isn't the coolest thing ever, I don't know what is.
Yeah. I love the fact that they added the effect on the lantern mod.
Oh, the bloom?
Screen. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It
And
is.
so, after I dropped that bomb, I went into area track to kind of sweeten up my laser picture on the target, just to make sure I really hit kind of the center of the turret on that tank. And now that I'm off the target, I just threw it back into designated mode again, so that way I can turn off the target and stuff without losing my picture.
Cool.
So you got the target now?
Yep.
Alright, pick a target and hit it.
I gotta come back around. But let me throw this into air to ground mode.
Oh yeah, definitely make sure it's in air-to-ground mode the whole time you're, oh, you mean, the HUD mode, sorry.
Yes.
another thing is you've got the correct bomb selected, right?
Good call. Good call. Let's do 12. Oh, wow.
Yeah. The F-14 Rios, if they had bombs on the jet, would always get their bombs set up and ready to go while they're still on the carrier deck or while they're still flying out or while they're still, taxiing out to the runway. So that way, they don't have to be fumbling with lots of switches and dials and things when the pilot's about to roll in and drop the bomb.
Wow.
So what I did back on the carrier is I told Jester to set up my bombs and have them ready to go, so that all I had to do was just flip into air-to-ground mode on my HUD and be ready to go. Sometimes I won't go into point, and that's not a huge deal.
And pickle.
Awesome.
And I lost it. There we go. I pulled too hard.
Yep. So if that happens, quickly throw it back into designated mode, and hopefully it'll snap back onto that guy. Okay, great.
We are good.
Awesome.
And let's see, 13 seconds.
There it goes. It's in the laser basket. Do you put the laser into automatic mode?
No, I'm doing a manual.
Okay.
Boom.
And do you latch the laser or do you squeeze the trigger?
Most of the time I squeeze it. Sometimes I will latch it.
Okay. Most of the time I latch it personally.
Okay, we got dirt at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, my crater's not nearly as big as yours is.
I dropped the GBU-10 because I was trying to make a big explosion for you. Okay, want to try a buddy lace?
Sure.
Alright. So, I'm going to go ahead and set up for a laze for you.
Okay.
And so you set up for a bombing run. And basically, all I need you to do is drop, if you're more comfortable via CCIP, that's totally fine. Drop somewhere in the vicinity or right in the middle of the big field of armor. And we'll have the laser shining in that area. That'll be enough of a window for the laser, for the weapon to find the laser basket and be good to go.
Okay. Give me some space here.
Raj.
Turn it back in.
Alright, let me know when you're ready for a laser.
That's what I'm after.
As I'm doing this the whole time, I'm just re-sweetening my picture just to make sure I have a good laser for you.
Okay.
I'm getting dirt at 8 o'clock.
All right. Give me about 20 seconds.
Copy.
Alright. Ready for laser.
Shining.
And pickle.
Fantastic. Did you drop it via CCIP?
Actually, I just kind of picked a new target with the lantern and just kind of put it right in the middle and just use that.
Okay. It is not picking it up.
Is it not? Oh.
Sometimes this can be bugged. I see which target you picked up.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, wait a sec. Wait a second. Did it hit?
Yeah, it said it destroyed on my screen.
Oh, it did track on my target. Okay.
All right.
All right. I was looking at the weapon view because I wanted to see it trying to track. Awesome. Nice job. So, see, not so hard. Now it's a lot harder being the designator or being the FAC. So why don't you go ahead and try being the FAC, and I'll be the dropper.
Slow down. It's faster.
So you see how there's a little white square that moves around your lantern screen as you're rolling around or pitching?
It's the position of the camera, isn't it?
Yeah, so the weird swiggly line that kind of like goes around the screen as well, that's the masking line. So if your little dot goes beyond or goes outside of the masking line, then your camera and laser will be masked. So it's really important to pay attention to that if you're being the FAC, because that way you can make sure that your cameras or your laser's not going to be masked. Super important. Like when you told me 20 seconds out, I made a really hard, quick yank to the right to make sure that my pod wasn't going to get masked while you were coming in for your bombing run.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready for me to roll in.
Dirt at 1 o'clock. Copy that.
Some airspeed. Alright, I'm rolling in.
Okay. I'm commencing my attack run. You have a target picked out?
I was say, am I lasing or are you lasing?
You're lasing.
Alright. 1 second.
Yep, standing by.
Alright.
Alright, I'll let you know when I'm ready for a laser. Spud's in on the target. I'm in from the southeast.
Copy.
I got some dirt at 9 o'clock. I've got some dirt, 12 o'clock.
Alright, and shine. Pickle.
Shining.
That wasn't the best delivery in the world, but hopefully it works.
Now there's dirt at 2 o'clock.
Hey, it worked.
Sweet.
Didn't hit a target though.
Huh?
Did your spot come off a bit?
Nope, I'm still tracking.
Huh. Okay, well, I can try it again.
Okay.
I'm usually in your shoes, so I don't have much practice with being the dropping aircraft.
I've got some dirt on the nose.
water.
I got him.
Okay, cool. So when you're attacking a moving vehicle with a laser-guided bomb, the best aspect to hit them with is from a head-on approach. So the reason for that is that's when your weapon is going to have the most amount of energy, so that it doesn't have to, you know, try and chase down a vehicle. It's just going to hit it straight on.
Instead of trying to lead them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So
now
you can use this tactic of using the HUD to slew and designate targets, but what you're going to want to do is be a little bit closer, throw it into point track mode so that it's tracking the moving vehicle, and get the weapon off as you're flying over the target.
Trying to figure out which way they're going.
They're kind of heading out towards me.
Okay.
So it looks like they're heading sort of like a northwest-ish.
So let's see.
It looks like you're flying the direction they're flying or driving.
Yeah. I'm gonna at least try to designate where they're
Pick them up. Yep.
Yep. I'm getting too low.
2 o'clock.
Yep, it happens.
Good enough. Alright, yep, I got him.
Fantastic.
Alright. Good deal.
Now, more likely than not, they're going to be moving, and so they'll go out of your field of view.
Okay.
And if you need to kind of refine them, it shouldn't be too hard. All you got to do is just kind of follow the road, right?
Dirt on the nose.
Again, use the geography.
Dirt, 1 o'clock.
Exactly.
Six o'clock.
Alright. 10s are selected. Just give myself some space.
Awesome.
Be patient.
So, with a moving convoy like this is kind of when buddy lasing is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Because it kind of reduces your workload by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Alright, I think I see the highway they're on, so that should help. There they are.
Make sure I come on.
We've got dirt, 1 o'clock.
Alrighty.
Tally on you.
Alright, I'm about to drop.
Okay. Oh shit, am I still lasing? If it's gonna work.
Oh, shoot. I forgot to reselect my GBU-10s. Oh well. It's all you.
It's all...
Okay.
Good lord, am I that far away from it? something.
Did you drop?
No, I couldn't find them on the road.
Uh-oh.
I mean, they're right there, but my pod didn't see them.
Uh-oh. That's okay. We go around for a re-attack.
I think I was looking at the wrong spot anyways.
I've got dirt at 6 o'clock and dirt 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I think instead of looking up, I was, or excuse me, instead of pointing the lantern down, I was pointing it up, heading towards the coast.
Oh, whoops.
So, yeah, that was my beat.
That's why we trap. That's why we practice.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Thank God these things stay airborne for forever.
Tomcat?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, think about it, like, we would have been out of gas a while ago in a Hornet.
Well, I've been at mill pretty much this whole time, so my fuel state's about 7.4.
Oh, wow. I've still got 11,000.
Yeesh. Alright, lesson number 2. Don't stay in full mill the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, rolling back in.
Okay. We'll give it one more attempt, and then you want to try hitting the tanker?
Yeah, we can do that.
Have you, oh, let me check what time it is. Alright, I'm good for a while.
Okay. Alright. Let's try this again.
Alright, got a visual on the highway.
Okay, there's dirt at 12 o'clock and dirt 11.
Got him. Alright, I'll go for the first guy.
Fantastic.
Point track. There we go.
I'll go for the second guy.
Cool. A little low. Come back up. 15 seconds. Pickle.
Awesome.
Laser shining.
Great.
See what happens.
Can see the bomb.
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked.
Laser shining. Alright. 10,
I like how they just leave.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I see it. Boom.
Nice. They gotta get out of the kill zone, man.
Leave him, he's dead.
Cool. Well, that was fun.
Cool. It was fun. I got one more to burn.
Oh, very nice.
So we'll do it again.
Oh, yep. The convoy stopped right now, so try and swing around and get them quick.
Yep. All right. Roll in.
They're all bunched up right now. You could probably take out a whole bunch of them. Yep, they're stuck behind a burning truck.
Yep. Pickle.
Nice.
Hey, I got dirt at 7 o'clock and dirt 10 o'clock.
I'm not sure what I just dropped on, but hopefully something will happen.
Hopefully.
Alright. Latching.
Alright, lasers, or weapons got it. Nice! I think you got like 3 trucks on that one.
Sweet. Got her.
Nice.
You're taking fuel. Contact.
Nice, that's gonna put our thirst out.
Jester, shut up. There we go.
Haha.
I thought they fixed that.
Seems to have come back. My Jester's pretty quiet.
Fuel 9,000.
Cool.
Okay, that's enough.
Fuel 10,500.
You pulling out?
You can do it, man.
Yep, I'm done.
Alright. How much you put in?
I've got 9,000 pounds, 10,000
Looks
pounds.
like there's dirt at 7 o'clock.
I'm gonna have to dump fuel to land on the carrier anyway.
That's fair. Alright.
How much you got?
8.6.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep.
Alright, good job, dude.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna tune my TACAN to the carrier now. Alright, I'm gonna just slide gently right underneath you and come off towards the carrier. Cool. That looked cool.